Get the whole story.
What can the government, who as well are watching, most of them watch this program, what can they do to support, people like you, so that at least we have, even better ways of growth, because in the end effect, it's purely growing us.
Mm-hmm. So let me just take it into a different context.
Yeah.
I think there is a widespread awareness that Africa doesn't need aid, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It needs business, it needs investments, it needs trade.
The president is very vocal on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Similarly, I think we don't need government's help.
Mm-hmm.
The more the government tries to help,
yes,
the more difficult it becomes for the business. So if you let the businesses grow, do less of subsidies, because subsidies are political,
yeah,
right? And we don't want subsidies. We don't want too much. There should be a regulatory framework which should be the same for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
They should update their standards to what is good for the Kenyan consumers,
yeah,
and hold people accountable,
yeah,
and create a level playing field.
Mm-hmm.
If they can do their regulatory work right, I think that's 90% of the task.
Mm.
But if the government, in every developing country, the government has this urge to help a sector.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen that sector develop with a lot of government's help.
Okay. That's an interesting perspective. Are you not afraid of this? One, some of your competition, and I'm glad that you've already, growing very fast in 8 weeks. Some of your competition may probably not be careful enough to look at, do we have aflatoxin here, the antibiotics, the all. And I mean, just ethical business practice. Are you not afraid of the fact that they will still control some significant market share because of the scalability that they have, because they're using these particular items, versus you, who is strictly trying to observe as much as you can this super quality? Are you not worried of the fact that your margins might as well not make sense?
So first of all, I think just in terms of the scale, so while we may be the newest kid on the block,
yeah,
but we have the largest fish feed mill in Kenya.
Okay.
So in terms of scale,
Mm-hmm.
and we have already, in probably hopefully less than a year, we'll run up to that capacity of that largest
Yes.
fish feed mill.
Yeah.
So we don't have a disadvantage of scale.
Mm-hmm.
I think for many of our competitors, this is a side business. They have other main businesses,
Yeah.
and feed, and this is not their core business.
Mm-hmm.
For us, this is our bread and butter.
Okay.
And when something is your bread and butter,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
And it does not just come with a business goal, it comes with a lot of passion.
Yeah.
It'll be very difficult for our competitors to match our passion.
Wow.
So we'll make money. We'll make money the right way.
Yes.
And hopefully, we hope to act as a catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
Because we believe if everybody does it the right way,
Yeah.
The industry will grow. We'll grow, the industry will grow. They have a lot of space. It's a huge market.
Okay.
We don't have to fight for share. We can all grow the market together and grow it the right way.
You're right. And this cuts across. We've talked a lot about the fish industry, and you've told me you also move into the dairy, right?
Yeah.
How can I'm a customer, like in some of our viewers, how can I differentiate? Sometimes, at least I know what we call here locally kienyeji, those kind of locally bred without any kind of feed, because sometimes we're afraid of some of the chicken we're taking. You taste it, you wonder what are you eating, How can you differentiate some of these products so that at least we're able to trace? I have seen, for example, some of the factories have started saying this is where it was grown, all those kind of things, so that you're able to follow. How can we know that this at least has been grown with Maxim's products?
Mm-hmm. Maina, that's a great question, and I think that brings us to the labeling issue.
Yeah.
So, not dictated by the government,
Yeah.
but if the companies believe that the consumers are asking for it,
Yeah.
they'll be forced to put labeling on aflatoxin free or aflatoxin this level, and that's what we're working towards. That it becomes a marketing advantage at
Yeah,
first,
you're right.
and then becomes an industry standard that no milk or chicken could be produced without this label. And if some companies start doing it, others will be forced to.
Yeah.
And it'll also become easier for the government to then regulate and check the aflatoxin level at the end product,
Yeah.
not in the intermediary product. So if you start testing it at the end product,
Yeah.
then the supply chain will get fixed, and we'll play our role.
Yes.
We'll play our role with our technology, our innovation, our knowledge,
Yeah.
and our intent. And we hope that we'll bring a positive change.
Yeah. I'm sure starting up in Kenya, we have had different testimonies of people and some of the challenges they face in that. And I'm sure you have your share as well of your challenges, which I wanted to share a few. And, you know, in a way, advise entrepreneurs who probably would be saying, I want to go to Kenya and set up there. What else you experienced? What are the challenges that you're facing in the process?
So as an entrepreneur, I believe the opportunities are in places where there are more challenges.
Oh,
So if you go to more developed, easy places, you may not find gaps.
yeah.
So if you go to Europe, there will be no aflatoxin issue, there will be no issue, there will be 10 other companies doing very,
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
So you have to take risks. You have to be prepared to deal with those challenges. And that's where the reward is. Growing population,
Yeah.
rising income levels, growing awareness, on a journey to transform itself,
Yeah.
and not enough suppliers who are willing to meet the challenges of the future. So we had our share of challenges, from people backing out of the land deals,
Yes.
to lots of financiers saying no to us. In the beginning, they thought that we, I don't know, the project costs a lot more than what we are asking for. And we were asking for a lot less because
Yeah.
we could do the project in a lot less money and capital.
Yeah.
So making people believe that we know what we are saying, all took a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
So the advice to the entrepreneurs, I think there is 2 or 3 things. One is resilience.
Yeah.
No entrepreneur becomes a successful entrepreneur unless he has the patience and the resilience and the perseverance.
Wow.
So if you don't have the perseverance, then this is not for you. Then you do a 9-to-5 job. The second is
Yeah.
don't count the hours.
Yeah.
So, this is not for people who want work-life balance, which is the most common slogan these days, work-life balance. Yeah, it may work for 80% of people,
Yeah.
but those 20% who are going to rise, if somebody is putting in 16 hours a day, he will have far more learning in lesser period of time than somebody who's putting in 8 hours of
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
So you can't compare the two. And we believe you need to work hard,
Yeah.
put in all those hours, and have a lot of patience, and believe in your dream. What others cannot see
Yeah.
and the youth can see,
Yeah.
that's what one day the others will start seeing.
You're
but then
right.
it'll be too late for others. You'll already be ahead of the game.
Wow. As we come to the tail end of the conversation, corporates and even, looking at the listed companies as well under ESG guidelines, under the NSC, and corporates being advised, and this is the current conversation we're having, that we need to be mindful of what we're doing to the environment and socially ensuring that we are coexisting well, and within our organizations have proper governance. I'd like to speak on that from Maxim's perspective. How are you relating with to ensure that you are not part of the people who are also contributing to a lot of production? Because your industry has been accused sometimes of being some of the greatest emitters. And I know you have persons that you've put together and are working in your company now. How many are they, by the way? So please speak on that.
Yeah, so another very relevant question. And
Yeah.
let me just talk about the climate from a different context. So.
Sure.
I'm not sure whether you know or not know, but every single cow emits 100 liters of methane every day. They contribute to 15% of the world greenhouse gases globally.
Yeah.
In Kenya, I'm sure it's higher as a percentage of emissions.
Yeah.
You have a 20 million population of cows emitting methane every single day.
Yeah.
And they are the lowest producing cows in the world. So they only produce about 1,000, 1,200 liters a year, compared to US, which is 12,000, or other European 8,000. So it's like 1/10, 1/8.
Yeah.
What does it mean? It means you have 10 times more cows than what you actually need.
Yeah.
Producing methane emissions every single day far greater than any industry. Right? Now, where do we come in? It's about having less cows, but a lot more productive cows.
Okay.
If you have the same cow producing 3 or 4 times, you don't need 10 million cows.
That's
unless
true.
you're into exports.
Yeah.
So you can cut on your methane emission by using our feed, making our cows more productive, using our bovine semen, improving your genetics,
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just giving you a broader context of
right.
sustainability and of environment.
Yeah.
Yes, the other thing, the kind of energy that we use, we are working on with other partners to see if we can develop geothermal energy and move away from fossil fuels. That was our initial desire, but then somebody who promised us a geothermal backed out of the deal at the last minute, and we had to go to KPLC. But we haven't lost that cause. I think we are going to go back into environment-friendly energy sources.
Yeah.
And on the product itself, we are researching different kinds of raw materials and ingredients which reduce methane, like seaweed.
Okay.
So seaweed reduces methane emission in a cow dramatically.
Yeah.
But how do we make it commercially available? And with the last coastline, I think in Kenya it can be done. That's a project for the midterm.
Yeah.
But immediately our desire is to make cows more productive, have less cows giving more milk, less stress on the soil, less stress on the water in Kenya, less stress on the methane emission. That's where we come in.
I know I said we are almost ending, but I have to ask this question. One of it is on funding and whether you would consider, because this is the Trading Bell show and we really talk to a lot of listed companies, whether you would consider to list. That would be one of the questions. But back to the question on ESG, I just wanted to know, you're creating employment and how many are there and what is the future like for Maxim? It would be nice to know as well as we come to a close.
So I think we have already created about 100 direct jobs.
Wow.
And about 500 indirect jobs.
Great.
Within the first few weeks of our operation.
Absolutely.
I think by year 3, we'll go to about 500 direct jobs.
Yeah.
About 1,200 to 1,500 indirect jobs.
Great.
Most of them are from Nakuru County. The governor has been very supportive of the initiative, and we want to contribute to the local community as much as we can.
Excellent.
On the listing question, it's never off the cards. You know, nothing is off the cards for an entrepreneur.
Sure.
But when the right time comes, when the right time comes, we would want larger public to participate in this and become part of this venture.
Absolutely.
And feel the ownership of it.
Absolutely. Because people would want to be part and parcel of your growth.
Yeah.
Finally, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what are you seeing?
5 years from now, I think many of the things that I have mentioned, I hope that other companies and other competitors become part of this journey. That we are able to give a much better end product to the majority of the Kenyan consumers. I believe that we contribute to the government in impacting policies, help communities build their skills, contribute to the education of the country, and develop leadership talent, not management talent, not junior only. Those are important, very important too, but leadership talent as well. And that we are operating in multiple countries of Africa, not just Kenya. Wow.
Congratulations, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Lovely talking to you, Maina.
Excellent,
Thank you.
Excellent. Faisal Farid, the CEO of Maxim Agri and Samak Grow, very optimistic that, listen, we have just started and we are yet to show you what we got, and we really wish them well, especially in just giving us quality and letting us as well mind our health. I leave you now with the markets. See you next time.